What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Tej pack. Tej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tej pack. Feel the Tej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels, and I am looking forward to putting on another clinic out here in these streets on how it is that you can level up, become the best version of yourself, and then also to bring your people along with you. What's going on, gang? What's happening out here in these streets? Let me make sure that everything is what it's supposed to be. Everything is everything. How y'all doing? Shout out to Tej Henley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. That link, somebody tell me where that link is. Where's the link for Tej Henley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift? Where is that link limit at? It is in the description. Here, I'll do you one better. So for those of you that's a little bit lackluster, that did not do your Tej Henley and getting your 30% off your first order plus a free gift, bam, just threw it inside of the live chat. What's going on, friends and family? What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Everybody in the jury, everybody in the audience, are you ready? Are you ready to throw down? Yes, we are. That's my favorite gospel artist. That is my favorite gospel artist. My favorite gospel artist is, well, I don't know if my favorite classic gospel artist is Fred Hammond. I think he has made some of the most timeless gospel music of all time, but neither here nor there. What's going on, friends and family? It is Wednesday, July 5th, 2023, year of our Lord. It is hump day. I don't know what's the sound of a camel? What is the sound of a camel so that we can more effectively determine, or we can make our noise? You know, I'm my own noise maker. What is the sound of a camel? I don't know what that is. But I am excited to be here before you today. Let me also remind you guys that it is very, very, very important for you to tap in to the Patreon. Moo is a moo. I don't know what that is. Y'all not about to have me out here looking stupid trying to make these stupid noises for y'all. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Right, moo is a cow, classy. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. If you have not tapped into the Patreon yet, you are doing yourself a disservice. That's a horse, Connie. I don't know why I've been so lit this week. I've been very, very lit this week. So again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. That link is also in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I will be live streaming tonight on the Anton Daniels channel. I got so much heat that I'm cooking up for y'all. Also, not only am I dropping a video inside of the Patreon today, but I am also uploading a template that I did promise you guys. I've been working feverishly. I have not been asleep. I've been putting together chairs and stools that's inside of the crib. I know Rita has to take a flight out to go and visit friends and family today. Leslie is out here in these streets. Anton is going to be in Detroit by myself out here wreaking havoc. Hopefully I don't be out here getting arrested. Marcus X says, Anton, real quick, the condo I'm renting seems to be in default and the owners owe $195K or it will be publicly auctioned. I don't know any details of that, Marcus. I don't know where it's located. I don't know what the true value of it is. You don't know what the damage is in it. You don't know anything. A camel sounds like demons. You don't know anything about that, Marcus. So you're going to have to, and I think you tried to get one off on me too today. You tried to sneak one in, sneak a question in. I get it. I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge my first super chat of the day. Shout out to Young Capsule. Young Capsule says, hey, Anton, when you first started to network, how did you determine the places to go network? Thanks for all that you do. Well, Young Capsule, I don't look at networking in the same way that everybody else looks at networking. I think that everybody else looks at networking like I'm going to go to a networking event or I got to go and link up with these professionals. It's not. Let me back up for a minute. If you look at it from the same perspective as like a fraternity or a sorority, all right? The goal of the fraternity and the sororities, largely, obviously, I don't know anything about the Greek things because I'm not in it, never been interested in it, but I know a few people that's in it. And the goal of it is to build as brothers and sisters, and they have common goals and then they feed into the community. But one thing that you know about them, two things is for certain, is that they party. They party, they have a good time, they link up with each other and all of that, right? And so their ability to tap into each other in order to get to the resources or get to certain jobs or get certain opportunities, or if I go to this city, I can link up with you. Kamala Harris, I think that part of the reason why she's in a position that she's in is because she is a whatever you call them, one of them sorority girls, right? The point is that the way that you network is that you go out and you interact with people every day, and then you look to be a good leave a good first impression. And then I can give you some more tips inside of the Patreon on how y'all can network more effectively. But the goal is to meet everyday people in the right spaces, build connections, and then ultimately do business with them if they are of good character and is going in the direction that you're going in, right? She's an AKA. That's correct. She's an AKA. So, for example, when I go to the restaurant, I sit at the bar. I very, very rarely ever sit at the booth because I want to be able to kick it with people. If I'm going to go work out, I'm going to go to the gym versus actually doing it at home as much as possible because it allows for me to be able to interact with people at least 3, 4, or 5 times out of the day. One of the reasons why I have an office, specifically I chose downtown Detroit, is because I get to connect with people. I get to meet people. I get to interact with people that I then can, have a relationship with and bring them into the studio. And then we wind up doing business. And some of the upcoming interviews that I'm dropping inside of the Patreon is from people that I've networked with, right? And so it's really just maintaining good relationships, speaking to people, knowing how to connect, all of that type of stuff. It's not a networking event that you go to. It's not a networking event that you go to. Most people that go to networking events, they broke. It's a bunch of broke people looking to link up with a bunch of other broke people, and it don't go good. It don't go well, right? So networking is literally just going out, interacting with people. I know people that I've interacted with for 20 years, and we just starting to do business with each other because I'm the first person that they thought of when they looked at an opportunity to level up themselves, but then they felt like I had the right skill set to feed into what it is that they're doing, right? And so they thought of me. Networking is basically them thinking of you as the first person that they want to give the opportunity to when the opportunity presents itself. All right. Marcus X says he going to email me the details. All right, Marcus, I see you. Starman Nook says, Anton, how do you practice good time management? Y'all trying to get all of the Patreon game today. Here, let me give you a general idea. I manage a calendar. My calendar is my Bible. I use a Google Calendar. It informs me of every single thing that I'm going to do all throughout the day. I don't even know when I'm going to take a flight. I don't know when I'm going to have a coaching call. I don't know what's going to happen. Every single thing I do is based off of a calendar, okay? My calendar is my Bible. I don't know any person that does not manage a calendar effectively, and you have to live and die by this thing, right? When I go to bed at night, the first thing that I check is my calendar. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I check is my calendar. It allows for me to even determine when I have the capacity to take a flight, when I'm coming home, all of that type of stuff, right? And so you have to be able to manage a calendar effectively. If you do not live and die by your calendar, and I'm not talking about your work calendar, I'm talking about your personal calendar. If you do not live and die by your calendar, you are doing yourself a disservice, all right? So shout out to you for that. Shout out to all of the people with the good questions and the cash apps. I am going to be reading super chats throughout the day. Let me give a little bit of recognition to a couple of people that hit me with a cash app yesterday and today. I want to acknowledge Mike That Dude for the 10 ball. I appreciate you, Mike. You are absolutely awesome. Dwight Brooks is in the building. Shout out to Dwight Brooks. Hit me off. I appreciate you also. And then let me also give a shout out to Brian Horsley and MJP. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock out with me. You guys are absolutely awesome. Mark Smith. Rita just texted me and said she took $300 out of my account. Woohoo! I love it when my wife take money out of my account. It makes me feel great. Let me give a shout out to Mark Smith. Mark Smith is in the building. Says, been a while since I've been on a live. Followed the advice in the Patreon and negotiated $150,000 annual salary plus bonus in corporate. Had to settle into the position. I all love Anton #backchaser. Yo, listen. I get testimonials all day, every day. The information that I give out to these people is second to none. I guarantee you some of your favorite YouTubers, some of your favorite business people is low-key my Patreon members. Now, I don't disclose who's my Patreon members, who the bag chasers. If they say that, then I'll highlight it. But he telling you right here, Anton, I just negotiated and followed your advice on the Patreon, and I just negotiated $150,000 annual plus a bonus in corporate America. What more do you want from me? What more do you want from me? If y'all not a part of the bag chasers, paying your little, some of y'all in the bag chasers for $9. If you're not in the bag chasers for at least $15, and then having access and getting on a waiting list in order to get a seat at the table, I haven't even raised the prices. You guys are really doing yourself a disservice. Can we get a round of applause for Mark Smith as far as and getting that check? I love it to see my people winning. I love seeing my people winning. Shout out to Mark Smith. Let me read a couple more super chats and then we're gonna get it popping. Mr. Show Out TV says, hey, Anton, I'm interested in starting a halfway house. Oh, Jesus. A halfway house in Arkansas. That's a double Jesus right there. How do I start that correctly? And what streaming software do you use? Now, that the streaming software conversation is a little bit different. I would have to tap into some people that know how to run a nonprofit organization that's a part of my network to get you a little bit more information, because I have never started a halfway house. I know nothing about halfway houses. If you email me, I can give you more details on what streaming softwares that I use, because I use more than one. And then I can also send you some information with somebody that can actually help you probably a little bit better than I can with the halfway house. But I would never, ever tell you something that I don't know, but I can point you in the right direction and I can give you the insight on the streaming software. So send me an email, antondaniels413 at gmail.com, and I'm going to break down how it is that I use my streaming software for you guys. Maybe I'll make that a Patreon exclusive. Maybe I'll just do a whole Patreon exclusive of how it is that I set up my streaming software and how I run the show on a day-to-day basis. Y'all let me know if y'all want that in the Patreon. Thomas Cooler says, I'm going to be in Ann Arbor. Shout out to my Ann Arbor people out here. For a game September 16th, Lord willing, would love to drop by and holla at you. I better holla at you. Niggas may be jealous because they be playing with Death Row. They tried to play a. 'Cause, 'cause, 'cause they be playing with Death Row. They tried to play a hate. 'Cause, 'cause, 'cause they be playing with Death Row. They tried to play a hate. 'Cause, 'cause, 'cause they be playing with Death Row. They tried to play a hate. Y'all don't know nothing about that. That was on on a double album for Tupac. Hey, listen, September 16th, I don't know what my calendar is going to be, but closer to the date, let me know, and we might be able to link up, and you might be able to come through the studio and see what's happening. Shout out to Thomas. I appreciate you. Shout out to all of the Super Chats, Cash Apps, and everybody that contributes to the show. I don't ask for it, but you guys contribute because you see the value in what we're doing here. Again, make sure that you guys hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get ready for the show. Somebody sent me this video. It is going viral on TikTok. I absolutely hate TikTok. I absolutely hate TikTok. I do. TikTok has some of the most stringent uploading guidelines. Every time I upload something over to TikTok, especially with them hyenas, I have to file an appeal in order for me to have my TikTok because they be saying that it violates community guidelines, even though there's no cussing in it or nothing like that. And then TikTok go ahead and release it and let the people get it. All right? But my people told me, I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly, your boy Maul. Shout out to your boy Maul 8. My people said, Anton, you got to be on TikTok. So I go ahead and I be on TikTok. I did hear about that early life check. We're going to talk about that at the end of the show. Don't worry about it. I got you. Anton, you got to be on TikTok. I hate TikTok. I like Twitter. Instagram is cool. YouTube is my space. But TikTok, oh my God, I hate TikTok. But I got to participate on TikTok because they say that's where all of the unruly hyenas are. Somebody sent me this, right? And I don't even really want to play it out loud, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of insight of what's going on here. I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show. I don't really want to play it out loud because it got music in it. And, you know, people always putting music in their shorts and stuff like that, right?
My mom basically said once you turn 18, you're on your own.
So this man, you can go ahead and read the little words and the captions that they have in this. But this white man right here, and I call him a man because on this video that they're recording it, it's his 18th birthday. Listen to him.
Homeless.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Do you have any idea where you're headed? Just trying to get back or goals?
I'm trying to get back to California.
He's trying to get back to California because that's his main goal. And if he had 3 wishes, this is what he's telling the person that's interviewing him. If he had 3 wishes, his goal would be that his father was still alive, to see his sisters, and to get home. And he's trying to get over to California so he can figure out what his life is going to be like. That's what he said. Here, let me show you his face one more time so y'all can see what it is that we dealing with out here in these streets. And then the music just makes it even more, oh my God, it's tugging on my heart. And when you see the people in the comments, right? When you see the people in the comments, it's you put the music to it, it's like the soundtrack, and people don't want to see people on the street and homeless and all of this other type of stuff, right? And it just tugs at your heartstrings. And it's something to take into consideration as far as how people are affected every single day. It's white people, black people, everywhere, all over the place that are going homeless. We got a lot to talk about today. We got affirmative action as far as Umar Johnson. We got the Breakfast Club that was getting waxed, especially this black woman that was on the Breakfast Club. We got truckers. We gotta deal. Listen, I got a lot of truckers that walk. Shout out to my truckers. I love the truckers, but they saying that the truckers are suffering out here and they can't pay their bills. We're gonna talk about it. We got Spirit Airlines is bringing them to the front of the congregation because y'all fighting in front of Spirit Airlines in Florida. We gonna deal with that. We're going to address what's going on in Philly. But this video right here, and this is a young man that's a reflection of what's going on in society. And he said, yo, Mom kicked me out. 18th, soon on my 18th birthday, mom kicked me out. Daddy ain't around no more. He passed away. I'd love to see my sisters, and I don't want to be homeless. I don't want to be homeless. Now, look at a privileged Anton in the United States of America in a system that all of the blackity blacks are going to sit here and tell me that it was set up for me to fail, but I'm sitting here reviewing this 18-year-old full-haired white man. I'm bald. I'm bald. All of my hair is on the bottom of my face, not the top of my head. And believe it or not, my passion project was homelessness. My passion project. It was the thing that I volunteered every single weekend for a year straight. I did volunteer work with homeless people. I fed them. I know what the face of homelessness is. I even had a proposal that I wanted to do, which my wife was adamantly against, and my mother and my brothers and everybody that was close to me, in which I wanted to do an experiment where I went out and I lived homeless for a week straight, and I documented the process, and then I released it as a documentary. My family, they say, Anton, you can't do it. I still am passionate about doing stuff like that. I have a whole lot of ideas that I'm trying to get out, but it's a strong possibility that it can't happen. So I know what the face of homelessness looks like. And this white man with freckles right here could very well be one of the people that I've served in my volunteering throughout my life. Here's the key, though. This is the part that y'all don't want to hear. So, if you no longer want to know about all of the passion and, oh my God, the music is, this is where the music stops, y'all. This is where the music stops. This is why you need to become a Patreon member, a Bag Chaser. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. The name of this show today is called Savior. Savior. And guess who's coming to save you? Nobody. I'm going to tell you the things that your pastors, your mothers, your fathers, your girlfriend, and the people that are closest to you are afraid to tell you. Nobody is coming to save you. I read a story today where Biden is starting to try to address all of the mass shootings that's going on in America, and he's going to make sure that he deals with what goes on because he's passionate about fixing our communities and all of the violence that's happening with Baltimore and Philly and Detroit and Chicago and Los Angeles. Your pastor is going to give you a good, hearty message, and he's going to say, listen, just have faith. Hold on and have the faith of a mustard seed. All you got to do, Jesus said you got to have the faith of a mustard seed, and God is going to see you through it because God is trying to tell you something. That's what your pastor going to tell you. This is what I know for sure. I don't care what Biden says. I don't care who the next person that's going to pitch you something in order to try to get you to vote for them. They not forgiving your student loans. They not giving you reparations. Nobody is going to give you a place to live. Your pastor is not going to give you anything. Listen, I have an upcoming series in November, shortly before Christmas, where I will allow for my people in the Patreon to pitch me so that I can help fund their businesses. No strings attached. Very few people are like us, though. Your pastor is going to get whatever you put in the collection plate, and he going to drive off, and he going to live his phenomenal life without giving you anything in return. Your girlfriend, if you stay at her house too long and you lose your job, she's going to start getting tired of you, and then all of a sudden she's going to need some time apart. You remember when you was doing really well and she kept saying, yo, all I want is a little bit more of your time? And now that you got a little bit more time to give her because you in between jobs and Your resume ain't fully updated yet and you still working with that recruiter and she don't have the patience to be able to deal with you, guess what? All of a sudden, she needs some space. You need to go live with your mama. When you outside and it get cold outside, ladies, when it get cold outside, let me remove this white man from my stream real quick. When it get cold outside, because right now it's the summer and you can deal with it. But winter is coming. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. And it's going to get a little bit chilly outside and the recession going to hit a little bit different. And you already a month and a half behind your latest car payment. And when you get 3 months behind, the repo man is coming. The repo man is coming. And guess what? The recession is already in your life, regardless of whether or not Biden declared it as a recession, because you already fucked up out here. You one paycheck away from every fucking thing going down the drain. And guess what's going to happen? Nobody is going to give a fuck. When your phone get turned off and your boss lay you off and you lose your car and you don't have anything else, anybody else to save you, guess what? Nobody is going to give a fuck. When your daddy died or your mama died and they didn't have health care coverage, or life insurance, and then you go out there and you post your fish fry for the GoFundMe to people to try to help you get your mama buried, guess what? Ain't nobody gonna have no money. When you gotta move because the eviction man is coming and you gotta try to move back into your mama's basement, guess what? Nobody's gonna be there to help you move. What am I saying to you right now? What am I saying to you right now? Some of you may have a little bit of help. Your man may stick around if you're giving him that Gawk 3000, right? He may make sure that you, baby, don't worry about it. I got you. Here, put your head in my lap. He may stick around. You giving that. Now all of a sudden you want to give that spit everywhere. Listen, if you don't want to know the truth, if you don't want your kids to hear the real, because your kids be in school hearing stuff that's way worse than I'm saying right now, then go ahead and turn it off. Go ahead and turn off the live stream. I get it. It's not for you. It's somebody else that got a message for you. Your pastor is going to tell you what you want to hear. He's not going to tell you the truth. All of a sudden, it's spit everywhere. She never gave it up like that before when she was working, but now all of a sudden she got spit all over your lap. Somebody turn to your neighbor and say, it's spit everywhere. Turn to the neighbor to the left and say, it's spit all over my left leg. Hey, turn to the neighbor on the right and say, it's spit all over my right leg. Spit everywhere. Hot towels, hot rags, the whole 9 yards. Now all of a sudden you love me. Now you love me. We grown in here. Hey, if you a virgin, put a 1 in the chat. If you a virgin, put a 1 in the chat. Oh, this is why they don't want to give me no deal on Revolt, because they said, Anton, you too tough for TV and you don't want to censor yourself the right way. What is Anton trying to convey to you guys today? I'm trying to tell you. God is trying to tell you something. Ain't nobody coming to save you. So what does that mean? That means that you gonna have to put your big girl panties on. You gonna have to pull your bootstraps up and you gonna have to get on your motherfucking grind. Listen, you gonna have to operate even if you in a good space. Let's say you in great in corporate America. You know what my worst fear is? I'm a millionaire. I showed y'all my bank accounts yesterday, just 2 of them, 2 of 7. I showed y'all my bank accounts yesterday. I showed y'all my spending habits yesterday. You know what my worst fear is? Not being able to live the life that I want to live 9, 10 years from now. Rich people worry about money. I work like I ain't never had nothing in my entire life. I work like I'm a homeless motherfucker that just got an opportunity, like The Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith on that movie. And I am thankful, Massa, for the opportunity to be able to be born in this good old United States of America and to grind and hustle. 4th of July, hustle. Every day, work. Days that I got off, weekends, I'm putting together projects for corporate America so that when we get in on Monday, I'm ahead of everybody else. I hustle, I grind like I don't have a dime to my name. And the reason that I do that is because I understand as a man, I've been conditioned. My father told me when I was young, he said, Anton, one day I'm not going to be able to be here. When I had to move back into my parents' basement when I went broke in 2007, 2008, at the top of the real recession, he said, listen, you got a space to stay at right now, but you're going to have to understand you got a baby on the way. My daughter was born in February of 2008. He said, listen, one day I'm not going to be here to save you. I'm not going to be able to be here to put this together for you. You're not going to have no safety net. As a 26-year-old man, he said, listen, bro, 24, I'm sorry. No, 2008, 18, 26. I was 26 years old. I'm not going to be able to, nobody's going to save you. Your mama can't save you. Your dad, they may need you. You're going to have, I need y'all to read David Goggins' You Can't Hurt Me. You have to read David Goggins' You Can't Hurt Me because you're going to have to recondition your mind to understand that the government is not going to fix you. Biden is not going to give you, student loan repayment, forgiveness, and all that other type of shit. Nobody, y'all out here thinking that you balling, keep telling me that $45,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year is enough. And let me help you to understand something. When you get 70 years old, and you have to depend on Social Security and you keep voting on liberal policies because you hoping that they keep it in place and that they keep funding it, even though the debt ceiling is at 60 trillion at that point, guess what? Nobody is going to fucking come to your rescue. You going to have to eat that shit. If you ain't got enough money to be able to sustain you for the rest of your life, oh well, so be it. Go on the streets. They're going to push you to the side and it's going to be a new generation M that comes in, and these young niggas is going to be knocking you upside your head because you living in the hood right next to them, and they're going to be parking on your lawn, and they're going to be treating you like a piece of shit because you don't have the resources in order to be able to live the rest of your life out the way you're supposed to. And then they're going to put you on TikTok. Then it's going to be cock tick. And they're going to put you on the internet, and they're going to make a meme out of your ass, and you're going to be sitting there just like that white boy right there, and they're going to be like, yo, this is the face of homelessness right now. And they're going to make a whole bunch of money off of you because guess what? They don't give a fuck about you. All I'm trying to tell you is that if you want better, you have access to more resources than you ever had in your entire life. You got the internet at your disposal. You got the Patreon. You got a network of people. You come on this live stream every day and get insight and information. But instead of you utilizing it, and you leveling up as a result of using the information to your advantage, you kicking the can down the road just like all of your legislative branches. You embracing walking in the victim Olympics. You keep complaining about how the people ain't giving you no opportunity. You're going to have to take that shit. You're going to have to take that shit. I'm not waiting on nobody to give me nothing. Everything that I get it, and then I utilize it to continue to get more. Listen, at any point, any of this could be gone tomorrow. The people could turn against me tomorrow and say, you know what, I'm not fucking with him because he called us a couple hoes and he told us it was spit all in his lap. You think I'm waiting for somebody to get at me? I've already put myself in a position where I'm good regardless of what happens. I'm not waiting on nobody to give me nothing. I'm not waiting on no job to lay me off. I'm not waiting on a person to be able to, I'm not looking for somebody to give me a leg up and an opportunity. You think I'm tapping in with these niggas and saying, all of these other content creators and saying, hey fam, let's collab. I don't give a fuck about these niggas. If we wind up collabing, it's going to be as a result of either us seeing a like interest in what it is that we doing together. I'm going to get myself hot. I'm going to cook up every single, listen, you think I need one person to live stream with me? I will be fucking live streaming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just to make sure that every channel is running and I will never miss a video. You know why? Because I don't give a fuck about what nobody else is doing. I don't give a fuck about whether or not they doing this over there or they doing this over there. I don't move my live stream time based off of what everybody else is doing. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to force you to move your fucking time because you can't fuck with me. I'm not waiting on nobody to give me nothing. I'm not looking for the government to be able to pay for my daughter to go to school. If she wind up getting a scholarship, congratulations. We saved some money. Think I'm waiting on somebody? I'm not waiting on nobody to make sure that my wife is good if anything ever happened to me. Life insurance in place. Rental properties in place. You think I'm going to have my wife out here begging y'all for cash apps and super chats in order to be able to sustain her lifestyle if anything was ever happen to me? No, that's not what we do. That's not what we do. I need y'all to stop being interdependent on people that don't give a fuck about you and start being the ones that give other people opportunities. I don't want to be the only one in the Patreon talking about, yo, I'm going to fund y'all businesses. I'm going to give y'all a little bit of money in order to get legs up and all of this other type of shit. I don't want to be the only one. Next year before Christmas, I want other people partnering with me and saying, yo, we want to fund y'all business. I don't want to be the only person that's giving money out to the community in order to ensure that people is taken care of. Next year, I need your cup to be runneth over, and do not tap in with me talking about, Anton, what can I do for you, if you don't have your cup runneth over. If you're not a millionaire, don't fucking tap in with me asking what you can do for me. The thing that you can do for me is to make sure that you good, take care of you, because once you have your cup runneth over, then we can pour into the people. Until then, shut the fuck up. Get on your grind, hustle, get your business started, make sure that you get your people and your network together. Go to fucking work and stop being late. Be ahead of time. 15 minutes before the meeting even start is on time. You getting there 1 or 2 minutes before the meeting start or when the meeting is start is late. Herbert Harris, look at this motherfucker running in the Victim Olympics. Bro, I get you, but you speak with great arrogance. Well, do something about it. Here's the thing, Herbert, and then we're going to get into the show. Here's the thing. What can you do about it? Herbert, what can you do about it? So you think that I'm arrogant. Now what? And you know what the beautiful thing about Floyd is? Floyd was talking his shit in a boxing ring, and nobody can do nothing about it. It didn't make no difference. Do something then. Create you a platform, get rich, and then give it to them a better way and give them more information. I want to see the information that you giving them that's better than the information that I'm giving them. Or is you in your motherfucking feelings? I don't give a fuck about what you niggas think. The only thing I care about is the results. The only thing I care about is the truth. I don't give a fuck about what you think about me, bro. Do something about it then. Do something. Oh my God, I don't like it the way that you tell them. Last time I checked, this shit said the Millionaire Morning Show with Anton Daniels. This shit did not say Anton and Herb. What you niggas talking about? Give a fuck about what you niggas think? Either take that shit or leave it on the floor and go and talk to your pastor and then let that nigga give you some game. You know what I'm saying? Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to get cooking. Reading super chats throughout the show. Give a fuck about what these niggas think about what I'm saying. Your boy Maul says, keep doing you, Anton. I appreciate you. I appreciate you too, big dog. Thank you. Early Life Check is in the building. Says, you see they finally released the info on a Philadelphia shooter. It was they, them, trans, LGBTQIA. Yeah, I heard about that. We're gonna break that down tomorrow. We're going to get deep down into that. Tony Williams, my dog. I was talking to Tony the other day. My dog, Tony. Listen, if y'all had heard what I was saying to Tony, y'all would think what I was saying is light right now. I was going in on Tony. I said, Tony, what the fuck we doing, bro? Tony, my dog, says, read that book all yesterday. I'm reading the second book tomorrow, 10 minutes in. I was ready to take action. I appreciate you, Anton. You're creating a monster. Tony ain't fucking with y'all. He don't care what y'all think. Tony is running that checkup. Shout out to Narada Smith, says, Anton, I've been watching you for a while. I'm 22 and graduate this December with a degree in civil engineering. Shout out to all of my engineers is in the building. Listening to you speak is very humbling. Keep up the grind. Hey, send me an email, Narada. I have a person that's in civil engineering that can probably mentor you. He's a part of my Bag Chasers. He's a part of the Patreon. He's a seat at the table member. I've been pushing him for about 2 years now. He actually has rental properties now. I want to be able to link you up with this person because I think that he can add a lot of value into your life and probably give you a leg up going into your career. Send me an email, Smith, and then we'll rock out like that. Shout out to Kenneth Percival was in the building, says, top of the morning, big coach. I appreciate you, big dog. Slim Tebow is in the building, says, you don't know how bad I needed this speech. Appreciate the greatness. Every once in a while, I got to kick y'all in the ass. Every once in a while, I got to kick y'all in the ass. Let me read a couple of more super chats, and then we going to get it popping with the show because we got a full show for y'all. Not a half show, a full show for y'all. Jean Wick is in the building. I appreciate you. Says, Anton, working on starting my business. Opinion on using debt versus looking for investors. I don't think you need to do anything. I think you need to have some skin in the game. I think you need to have some skin in the game. It depends on what type of business it is, but 99% of the businesses that you start, you can vet it out. You can vet out whether or not it's a scalable concept for under $2,000. You shouldn't need no investors and you shouldn't need no loans in order to do that. You need to hustle, come up with your 2 bands, and then I can show you how it is that you can proof out this concept for less than $2,000, but you need to get some skin in the game. You know the one thing that they can say about me? They can say they don't like the way that I talk. They can say whether or not they appreciate me. They can say, yo, I don't think he's from the United States of America. They can say any type of shit that they want to say about me. But you know what they can't say? They can't say that I owe one person money. They can't say that it's ever been an employee that's ever worked for me or a contractor that didn't get paid. They can't say that I didn't invest in my own business. Fail or successes. Successes or fails. They cannot say that I do not have skin in the game and that I did not build it myself. I put my own money up. I pay my own employees. I make sure my own people is taken care of. They cannot say that I owe one soul on the face of this fucking earth. All right? So put your own money up, Jean. Get that bag up, big dog. Shout out to my dog Cliff, says, I ain't never asked anybody for nothing anyways. Always been on my grind. Talk shit, big bro. The Dusties need to kick rocks. Love you, bro. Master Bag Chaser. Shout out to my dog Cliff is in the building. I appreciate you. Let me, Jay Claudio, I appreciate you for the fireball. Just came through and said, what up, though? What up, though? All right, so let's get into it, y'all. Dr. Umar Johnson has thoughts. Next up on the docket, we're going to mine out what happened on the Breakfast Club. But Dr. Umar Johnson is reacting to and he has thoughts about what happened with affirmative action. So for those of you that are not familiar, and I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show. For those of you that are not familiar, affirmative action was effectively struck down by the Supreme Court, along with, around the same time, as student loan forgiveness. So they said, listen, we're not going to continue to give black people a leg up as a result of what it is that they identify as race-wise, because I know y'all like to say black people. We're not going to give y'all a leg up. What we going to do is let you stand on your own merits, because if you qualify to be able to get inside of these universities, then you qualify. And if you don't, then you need to go to community college like Anton Daniels. If you're a C student, I'm a lifetime C student. And we need to be able to get to it, right? Philip Sadiq, I'm gonna read that super chat in a minute after I get down with after I get into Dr. Umar Johnson. The good doctor is in the building. We know that he does not like Clarence Thomas. Make sure that y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get it rocking. Oh, hold on. He muted.
Fair admissions.
All right.
For fair admissions. It's a bunch of Asian students.
Hey, somebody time out T-Biz. Don't ban him. Don't block him. Just time him out. Let him think about his actions and what it is that he's saying, so that he can come back with a better attitude. T-Biz. Somebody time out T-Biz. Don't ban him. Don't block him. Right? I want him to be able to comment, but I want him to sit and think about what it is that he's saying before he say it. And get a better attitude when he come in here. We not dealing with none of this shit today. We addressing it, and we going to get right into the thick of things. We not dealing with no bad attitudes. today on the Millionaire Morning Show. We getting right into the thick of things, all right? Let's continue.
Financed by a white supremacist. It's a bunch of Asian students financed by a white supremacist who wants to eliminate affirmative action in college admissions. The use of race in college admissions, is it constitutional or unconstitutional?
The likes is a little low. Please don't make me go in the middle of this and hit the Teach Hanley commercial. Oh, you don't think I'd do it? You don't think we'll go straight to the Teach? You don't think we'll go straight to... Okay. Test me. Do we got enough likes for the YouTube? Keep playing games. Keep playing games. We're going to be going straight to the Teach. Hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, man. Let's get into this. Let's get into this, bro.
There is an organization called Students for Fair Admissions. It's a bunch of Asian students financed by a white supremacist. It's a bunch of Asian students financed by a white supremacist who wants to eliminate affirmative action in college admissions. The use of race in college admissions, is it constitutional or unconstitutional? Is the use of race in college admissions constitutional or unconstitutional?
So he's saying that white supremacy is funding Asians that are then asking for the ability to be able to get in on their own merits instead of you being able to get in just because you're black. This is what Dr. Umar Johnson is saying. That the system, my brothers and sisters, is funding the Asian pushback that is then propelling the Supreme Court to say that affirmative action should no longer be in place because black people don't deserve a leg up. They need to be able to get in on their own merits. Okay? Let's continue.
With Supreme Coon Clarence Thomas on the bench.
How disrespectful. How disrespectful that we say that Clarence Thomas. Why do we get in a name calling? That's what I'm trying to understand. Why we can't just react to it? Shout out to Dude with Locks. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Why we can't just react to whatever it is that's being reacted to and try to understand the actions of the people that made the decisions? It's the reason why they're in that position in the first place. Clarence Thomas has accomplished more with his left pinky than some people will in their entire lives and some people's entire families have ever accomplished in their entire lives. That's a little bit harsh, Doc. That's a little bit harsh, Doc, to call Clarence Thomas a coon. I can't stand when people don't like other people, all of a sudden they start throwing coon around. Okay. All right. Let's go.
Affirmative action and the use of race in college admissions will be overturned. That means historically black college and university. That means historically black college and university. That means
3 times.
Historically black college. All HBCUs, I need you to listen.
Okay.
All HBCU presidents, all HBCU administrators, all HBCU board of directors, I need you to listen to your big brother, Notorious RBG, right now.
He said the Notorious RBG. What is the Notorious RBG? I have no idea what the Notorious RBG is. Maybe somebody can fill me in that's a little bit more blackety black than me. All right. I thought that these was the same administrators and people that he was bringing to the front of the congregation because he didn't agree with the way that they was running the historically black colleges. Let's continue.
I need you to listen up closely to your big brother, the Notorious RBG, right now. The HBCU will benefit from this, but black America will still be hurt by this.
All right, he's going to have to clarify this. HBCUs will benefit by this, but black America as a whole will be hurt by it. O'Neal Harris, I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. He said, HBCUs, which is the thing that we're saying, or the blackety blacks are saying, needs to be funded. They say that they need their own. They need to be segregated. They don't want no handouts. They don't want the government interfering in their business. They want to have their own schools with their own people, and they want to be able to discriminate at their own will, right? They want to be able to discriminate at their own will. And so if the foundation of what make people successful benefits as a result of it, I'm curious to hear what he's saying. What he's saying is actually going to hurt black people as a whole. Let's see.
The HBCU will benefit from the overturning of affirmative action because it will reinstate separate but equal on the college campus.
Okay.
It will reinstate separate but equal on the college campus. That means applications for HBCUs are going to go through the roof. That means HBCUs are going to start getting money from black students.
I'm still not seeing what the problem is. Honestly, I'm still not. Now you have a greater pool of candidates that can actually afford to give tuition instead of everybody looking for a student loan and Pell Grants. You can actually have more students that's coming in from overseas that pay higher tuition, or coming in from out of state that actually spends more money at the university instead of it just being in-state tuition. You have a greater pool of candidates. You have more people coming into the universities that you love and support. So again, I'm objective, so I want to hear what it is that he's saying is going to hurt the black community as a whole, even though it benefits HBCUs.
But here is the problem.
Okay.
Because there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing, right?
Correct.
That's a good thing, right?
The blacks.
HBCU is going to get more funding once black students start being turned away from the white colleges, rejected and denied, right?
I thought y'all didn't want to go to PWIs anyway, right? Y'all didn't want to be a part of that anyway, right? Y'all said y'all wanted your own schools and all of that. Okay, so this is what y'all want. This is what you can get. So what's the problem?
HBCUs get more students. HBCUs get more money. That's a good thing, right? So what is your problem then, Dr. Umar, with the Supreme Court overturning affirmative action in college? I'm going to tell you what my problem is. I welcome the HBCUs getting more students because we know retention has always been a problem for the HBCU. And I welcome the HBCU getting more of that student loan money because we know finances has always been a problem for the HBCU. But I got 4 concerns about this.
Okay, we're going to break these down one by one. 1 through 4, y'all. Let's go.
Once black students are no longer required to be on the college campus, once black students are no longer required to be on the college campus, I suspect that the white power structure, in cahoots with the Asians, are going to start offering programs at white colleges that HBCUs will never get a chance to offer. Did y'all hear what I just said?
What? So basically he's saying that HBCUs will be substandard because of their inability to be able to compete. He suspects that there's going to be a plot amongst the PWIs and the Asian community in order to bolster the experience that you're going to have at these major universities that's not HBCUs. So you get more students, you get more funding. Shout out to Trump. Trump threw a whole bunch of money over there at the HBCUs. You get more students, you get more funding, you get a better pool of candidates that then would start to fill the ranks of the schools that you say are substandard. You get more money and more funding, but then you're saying that you won't be able to compete. So you still need affirmative action to actually take away from the thing that's helping you become more successful in your inability to be able to compete against PWIs. Am I hearing something wrong? Am I off? He said he suspects. Let me just play it out. I'm going to just play it out. I'm going to let more play. I'm not going to react right away. Again, I'm objective. I try to hear this thing. I try to see what the Blackity Blacks is doing out here in these spaces because I like to hear from people that I don't necessarily agree with all the time. But let's go.
They're going to create new degrees. They're going to corner the market in specialized training in certain areas. And if you don't go to a PWI, you might not get a chance to get a degree or a PhD or a master's degree in certain fields. They are going to exclude black people from certain professions, and the excuse they're going to use is that the HBCU don't offer it, and we are not required to no longer admit black students into our school.
Do y'all know what capitalism is? Does anybody know what true capitalism is? True capitalism, at a very basic level, is that the market determines the value of something, right? So I'll give you an example. We should have done away with African American studies a long time ago. You know why? Because the market doesn't require you to go through and get an African American studies bachelor's and master's and doctorate in order for you to be able to get a job in our current economy, and that allows for us to become more successful as a country. The market is determining the value of an African American studies degree, which means that that degree should have been done away with at HBCUs a long time ago. Conversely, cybersecurity is something that these HBCUs and schools should then be developing curriculums around in order to prepare their students and then source out the best available candidates for people that want to be ahead of the curve of the type of jobs and the fields that we should be inserting ourselves into. STEM fields, software engineering, civil engineering, right? We should be having universities already ahead of the curve trying to figure out how it is that we can embrace and teach cloud infrastructure and artificial intelligence and all of this other type of stuff. It means that you have to compete, even as a school, if you want to get the best talent, right? Harvard Law is largely regarded, and law firms go to there because they know that that Harvard Law brings out the best students because they have a rigorous program that eliminates weak candidates and put the best people in the positions as possible, right? So it's called capitalism. It means that the market is going to determine what the new degrees are or what it is, and then it's your job as an administrator or whoever it is that runs the school to implement these programs in order to prepare students for what it is that they need. More importantly, for students to want to go to what it is that you're talking about. You can't corner the market on something that's widely available to everybody.
So that's number one. I think they're going to use this to cut black children out of certain opportunities that you can only get at one of these PWIs. Number two, are the HBCUs going to start doing a better job when they get more money? What do y'all think?
Is this Wait. He talked about how affirmative action is good. He actually supported Clarence Thomas while calling him a coon, okay? He said it was a great thing for HBCUs. Now, the first thing he said, his first point was, I suspect. His second point is, what do y'all think are the HBCUs going to be responsible for the money? What the fuck are we talking about, y'all? What do y'all think? Do y'all think that the HBCUs are going to be being smart with the money? So this is point number two as to why affirmative action is bad and how they're going to actually make this worse for black people as a whole. This is point number two. First point, now PWIs have the ability to be able to create new curriculums that allow for them to corner the market on future technology. Doesn't prevent you from being able to do it, but they're going to corner it. His second point is they're going to make sure. Do you think that they're going to be responsible for the money?
Are the HBCUs going to start doing a better job educating our young people when they get more students and get more money. I hate to say this, and we got some excellent HBCUs. We have some excellent HBCUs, so I'm not talking about everybody, but a lot of them, I don't think they're going to do a better job.
So they get more funding, they get more students. And the reason why the downing of affirmative action, even though you asking for more money, you asking for reparations every day, you get everything you want. So now you have the ability to self-manage. And what the fuck does that have to do with the price of potatoes in China? What does that have to do with affirmative action? What does this have to do, honestly, genuine question, because I'm a C student. What does this have to do with affirmative action being shot down? Whether or not they know how to manage the money correctly that they're going to be getting, this windfall that he's saying that they're going to get? Reading Super Chat shortly.
I don't think they're going to do a better job. And I think that the job market is going to start discriminating against black children who graduate from the HBCU as a way to control the amount of blacks who get educated at the HBCU.
So now he's saying the job market, so the jobs that you apply to is going to look at the HBCU that you went to, and they're going to, this is all conjecture. This is all, so now the HBCU degree that you get, he's saying, now y'all give me a whole nother picture. Y'all say, Anton, there's more black doctors, there's more black lawyers, there's more engineers. Most of the most successful ones that's in the United States of America, they come from HBCUs. This is what y'all told me. You guys said this in previous live streams, on panels. You said, Anton, HBCUs are the ones that turn out the most successful black people in the United States of America. This is what you said. So now you're saying that the job market is going to come together as a whole. Hey, y'all, we all got to work against what it is that they doing over there at the HBCU, since we ain't got to worry about affirmative action now. Listen, if they got an HBCU degree, don't hire them. Don't hire them. This is what he's saying. Okay, so it's not any real policy issues, any real things that come along with why affirmative action is going to force you to then have to compete more effectively off your merits instead of your color of your skin. Has nothing to do with anything that we talking about as far as what happened in the courts, right? All of this is just pure conjecture, conspiracy theories. Aliens are going to land in our backyard and make sure that we don't get the opportunities that we supposed to have. Okay, cool. Larry Summers, all of y'all, I'm reading Super Chats right after this.
HBCUs need to get ready. There should be an all HBCU conference so they can plan and strategize how they are going to respond to the Supreme Court decision. Because this could be a great day for Black America, or it could be a sad day for Black America.
Which one is it? Is it good or bad? You got the opportunity to do what you want. You get the cream of the crop of the pig. You get more money and funding. So what is the problem? Honestly, I'm curious. What is the problem?
Know who decides? Who ultimately decides if the affirmative action case, affirmative action being thrown out, who decides ultimately if that's a good thing or a bad thing? The HBCU. It's all up to the historically black college and university. Oh, yes. That also means that the HBCU has to stop catering to non-black children. The HBCU.
So now he's advocating for HBCUs to discriminate. Y'all see how evil y'all are? Y'all see how evil y'all are? Y'all want the opportunity to be able to do whatever you want to do and for people to accept you, and then you want to be able to push other people out as a result of it. The more you get, the more ugly you become. And here in your spirit, I've never ever in my life seen a person that was inherently racist. I've never, ever seen in my entire life. Let's say your great-grandmother or your grandmother or your mother say, you better not marry no white girl. You better not bring no white girl into my house. And then let's just say, for example, that she runs into 50 white people and they all treat her like gold. She becomes dependent on those white people in order to change her diaper in a nursing home. And no matter what, they never become less racist. They never, ever become less racist. This is insane.
Has to stop catering to non-black children. The HBCU has to stop catering to non-black children. Y'all can no longer admit all these white students. Y'all can no longer admit all these Asian students. Since the Asians don't want us going to the PWI, I don't want to see no more Asians at the HBCU. Yeah, I said it.
That's not what Asian people are saying. What they're saying is that I'm more qualified for this than this person, similar to the same argument that black people use on a regular basis. Hey, don't judge me based off of the color of my skin. Judge me based off of whether or not I can do a better job than a person next to me. And so Asian people and white people and every single other race of people that is complaining that they don't get admission into a university based off of the standards of affirmative action, and that they have to meet a criteria of how many people that they can have in there that's black or a minority or is a double minority or a white woman. They saying, listen, I'm not saying don't pick me just because I'm better. I'm saying don't pick me based off of the fact that he's worse. So he's saying, let's base it off of whether or not we can put up enough jump shots and who can hit the most from the 3-point line, not whether or not you black. And so it's a false narrative, and it always turns into this race shit. And we the only ones that can get away with it. We the only ones that can get away with it. We the only ones that can say, listen, they don't like us. Never mind the fact that your breath stink. Never mind the fact that your hair not combed. Never mind the fact that you smell like weed as soon as you pulled up to the job interview. It's, if you don't get it, by default, it's because you black, not because you didn't meet the criteria and the expectations that they had for that particular job. Never mind the fact that you underqualified, you don't have a degree, you don't have the work experience, you never had an internship before you got there. You just gonna get discriminated against based off of the fact that you black.
Since the Asians are trying to overturn affirmative action for black students at the PWI, since the Asians don't want us at the PWI, I don't want to see no damn Asians at no HBCU. Yeah, I said it. I don't want to see no Asians. That's right. They want us kicked out of the PWI. Kick all their asses out the HBCU. That's right, I said it. We got to stop being nice to people who don't give a damn about African life. We got to stop being nice to people who don't give a damn about Africa.
If a white man said this, if an Asian man said this on the internet, if a Hispanic man said this on the internet about a black person, y'all would be out there with pitchforks and fire and crosses standing on their lawns. You would find them. You would be doxing their jobs. You would be trying to remove their ability to be able to earn for themselves. You would be harassing their kids in school. Never say or do something to somebody else that you're not willing to have done to you in return. If this was somebody else, if this was an Asian saying this and saying kick all black students out, if this was a white man, a white woman, a Hispanic, Latino, Pakistani, Arabic, y'all would have y'all pitchforks in hand and crosses on their lawns immediately.
Freaking life. PWI Nefertiti is a predominantly white institution. I'm dead serious, y'all. Since the Asians don't want black students in white colleges, we don't want to see no Asians at no HBCU. HBCUs got to stop catering to non-black students. Cut it out.
I don't know, honestly, to be honest with you. I have no idea why people of other races are so determined to try to fit in with y'all in the first place. Let's just keep it 100. I have no idea why white guilt, age, whatever it is. I don't know why they not calling people out of their name, saying what they want to say to you in front of you or whatever. I have no idea in the world why these people continue to try to pacify you motherfuckers that don't give a fuck about them anyway. I don't know why they so willing to try to win you over and be accepted into you and try to get invited over into the barbecue. I don't know why. They not missing out on nothing. I ain't trying to go to the barbecue. I'm trying to get the fuck up out the hood. They trying to get acceptance into you. You trying to tell them fuck you and fuck your feelings. And then I'm trying to get away from the thing that they trying to make sure that they pacifying in order to make sure I got a better life for me and my family. I want to go to your barbecue. Man, fuck your barbecue. You ain't going to get invited to the barbecue. I don't like chitterlings anyway. How about that? I don't like chitterlings. I'm not trying to have diabetes by the time that I leave your barbecue, right? Your greens is canned. I don't like your chitterlings anyway. How about that? And she didn't wash her hands when she was making the cornbread, and she sneezed without covering her mouth. Keep on talking about I put my foot in this. Give a fuck about your barbecue. I'm ordering DoorDash. Now what?
Howard University, you're the worst. You might be the best college, but you're the worst when it comes to catering to non-African students. Cut it out. The HBCU is for us. And now that we can no longer go to the white colleges, now the white colleges can deny us. If the white college can now deny black people, then we don't have room for whites at the HBCU. We need those seats for our babies. We don't have room for European Jews at the HBCU. We need them seats for our babies. We don't have room for the Latinos at the HBCU. We need them seats for our babies. I'm not including my Latino Africans who identify with us. You family. You family Latino Africans. I include you with us. I'm talking about the non-African Latino and the self-hating Latinos. They don't get to come to the HBCU. Okay? I don't want to see no damn whites, yellows, browns, reds. I don't want to see none of them.
Is this who y'all rocking with? Is this what y'all doing? Is this who y'all rocking with? Is this who we building an FBGD, ABCFD, EFG, Elemental P school for? Seriously? Is this what we doing?
That's right. That's right. Because now the PWI will no longer be an option for a lot of us. So if South Carolina State, Cheney State, Lincoln, Maryland Eastern Shore, Coppin State, Howard, Wilberforce, Central State, Morgan State, Virginia State, Hampton, all the HBCUs have to open up them seats for black students.
I can't do it. I'm done. I'm cooked on this one. I am absolutely cooked on this one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm cooked. I don't know how y'all can continue to justify this behavior and that y'all see this as logical. It's straight up racism. It's discrimination. It's bias. It's the very thing that you advocate against, but then you want somebody to be able to do it for you. It's insane. Let me go ahead and read these super chats, and then we're going to move over into the Breakfast Club because I heard they was getting cooked out here on these streets. Shout out to Philip. I appreciate you. Philip Sadiq is in the building. Says, Anton, which is more important, creating vaccines that save lives or snatching papers back in the 6th grade? I suspect that you're talking about what we're about to evaluate over here with the Breakfast Club. Shout out to Philip that's giving us the preface of what it is that we about to experience. Oh my God, Dude with Locks is out here. Shout out to Dude with Locks, says, respect, glad I finally did catch a live. Shout out to you, Dude with Locks. I appreciate you. I don't ask y'all for donations or super chats, but y'all give them based off of the fact that y'all are entertained. And hopefully you source some value out of this. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. You are absolutely awesome. Thank you, Dude with Locks, for holding me down. I appreciate it. Cardell Snorton, shout out to you. says, I met your boy Vern at work. I'm an intern. I asked him, is AD the real deal in real life? He said, hell yeah. If y'all ain't never met me in real life, when you see me in the street, say what up though. And if you wind up not liking me after that, then I'm okay with it. He said, hell yeah, too much money. Appreciate all the game, bro. Shout out to Cardell Snorton. Make sure you stay hanging out with Vern. He's a good dude. He get into that bag. And I absolutely think that Vern is one of the coolest people that I've ever met in my entire life. Shout out to all of my new bag chasers, new Patreon members. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. O'Neal Harris, shout out to my people that's across the pond. Says it is not about a race thing. It is all about an attitude towards education. I 100% agree with you. Thomas Kyler is in the building. Shout out to Thomas. Says until he marries his youngest child's mother, the good doctor is excommunicated and is placed on Pookie status. Earn your mic to speak with us. Shout out to Kenneth Percival is in the building. Says Clarence Thomas destroyed the career of Anita Hill when she was courageous enough to come forth when he sexually harassed her. Send me some information on that. I'd be more than willing to review that. Let me see what's going on. And how do you have proof that he sexually harassed her? Because I am not the type of person that's going to say believe all women at all. Just know that. So when you send your proof, keep me in the loop, all right? Shout out to Craig Williams. Says, what up, Anton? I've been driving semis for 8 years. I want to transition into cybersecurity and real estate. Do you have any suggestion on mentors? Yeah, Anton from AntonDaniels.com. And then make sure y'all join into the Patreon and y'all tap into the Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description of any of the most recent videos, including the one that I'm dropping this afternoon. It's plenty of truck drivers that rock with me. I got some nurses in there. I got some cybersecurity professionals. I got people that get government contracts. I got my dog Luis in the building. He's been mentoring a lot of people that's inside of the Patreon. Make sure y'all tap into the Discord and link up with the people that's in the Discord. I got a whole network of people that I'm rocking out with. You can do it, Craig. We got your back. Let me give a shout out to Jason Stinkums. Jason Stinkums is in the building. I appreciate you. Says, only good thing about recovering from a pylon fracture is I get to tune into the live show. Back in the Patreon, too. Shout out to the new bag chasers. Link is in the description, y'all. So, hoping we can set up a call soon. I'm at a crossroads. I need to make moves finally. Keep cooking and serving. I'm on top of it, big dog. And thank you for the 20 ball. I appreciate you. Next Level is in the building. Says, see the pages in the book. It's white, but they don't mean nothing without the black words. Now, is it me or is it a conspiracy, my brother? I like that. I'm gonna start using that. I might use that tonight. Shout out to Jay Hunter Lee is in the building. I appreciate you. Says capitalism only means everything is for sale. Break down the Latin derivative of the word, and you'll have caput. Caput means head in Latin. So in order to do well in a capitalist and free enterprise society, we must use our heads. But the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Shout out to Jay Hunter Lee again. I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you for holding me down. Larry Summers is in the building with the 10 ball. Says, you changed my game. Tech job wouldn't promote me. I'm too focused on investing. Average 800% the last 3 years. So I'm launching my own hedge fund, and the first is already on the first and already have over 100,000 in funding. Thank you. Shout out to Larry Summers and congratulations, my friend. I appreciate you for continuing to hold me down and contributing into the platform, and good luck and well, I hope everything goes well and well wishes on your new venture, Larry. Congratulations to you. Patrice Jean-Baptiste is in the building, and I appreciate him also. Says, my community college was able to build both data analytics and a cybersecurity degree program. HBCUs, with their funding, can do it as well. I agree. I don't really understand why they can't put together a program that's best for the students. Persevere Data TV is in the building. I appreciate you. Says, everything with Umar results in a we need a confidence. We need a confidence. Service USA, I appreciate you. Long-time listener and always contributing to what we doing. Says, Juice just tuned in. What the hell did I walk into? A clusterfuck. A straight up clusterfuck. That's what you walked into. Bam Bam Lynch is in the building. Says definitely a benefit of a biracial in the black community cancels me before I could even before I could be blackety black. I'm a dark mixed person. Did they cancel you, big dog? No. DivineArtist.com with the $5. I appreciate you. Dropped off something inside of the collection plate. Let me get one more. I think I got one more super chat that I got to read. Give me a second. There we go. Says, finally, a group of black people who don't just follow for the fun of it. Agreed. Shout out to you. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. And if you have not already, make sure you get your Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. That link is in the description as well as the Patreon. All right, so let's get to it. How do you pronounce his name? Is it Vivek? Vivek? Well, he showed up on the Breakfast Club because he's a dark horse inside of the presidential race. But I've been liking a lot of what I've been seeing from him. I actually observed him, had a conversation with Jordan Peterson the other day on his platform. And so when you guys sent me this, I was very curious as to what he was going to say. So I'm not going to obviously go through the whole thing because, you know, it doesn't make sense to go through a 40-minute clip of what it was that he interviewed. But there are specific parts that you guys told me to stop through. Cliff Williams is in the building. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. But I want to share this with you guys, and then I want to get y'all thoughts. Make sure y'all throw a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me see how they pronounce his name.
Wake that ass. President and a bunch of U.S. senators and a former
Let me fast forward
U.S.
a little
ambassador and governors is honestly ahead of where I expected to be right now. Our goal was to be in third by the end of the year.
All right,
Same FBI that threatened Martin Luther King with suicide ideals that the nation was actually founded on and do a better job of aspiring to them.
Now we have Teslin Figueroa. I'm sure Teslin has some questions. Tez, you good?
Yes, I do.
So Tez is the woman that went viral allegedly for saying some things that were out of pocket. Let's see what she has to say.
So I've heard a lot of.
Her name is Teslin Figueroa. Teslin Figueroa. All right. So she's tuning in and she's going to grill this potential presidential candidate. And so we're going to see what happens.
You know, what you think and your vision, and I'm a very practical person, and I want to kind of opposed to talking about your opponents. Let's talk about you for a moment, and let's actually talk about your policy. Explain to me.
So on the outset, she seems to be intelligent.
Your position on this civic duty voting.
Sure. So my position is, I think that every kid who graduates from high school should know the minimums about the country that we require an immigrant to know about the country in order to become a citizen. So there's a test. My mom had to pass it. Every immigrant has to pass it to this country that asks you some basic questions. What are the three branches of government? What branch of government does the U.S. president lead? Some basic questions about what is the Bill of Rights. It's like a multiple choice exam, or some of them you write in. I think that if we're going to ask immigrants to pass that test, as we should, I think every 18-year-old who graduates from high school should have to pass that as well.
I don't see that as an issue. Why should they know more about your country than you? I don't see that as a problem. Okay, let's continue. I see the love is love rainbow flag in the back, but we're going to stay here. Let's continue.
Because young people, it goes back to that issue of pride. You don't value a country that you don't know something about.
That's correct.
You don't value something you inherit.
That's correct.
You value something you have a stake in creating, in building, or knowing something about. So how do we think big about that?
Which is why it's very difficult to give your kids stuff, because they didn't earn it, or they don't really understand anything about it, and so they gonna fumble it instead of what it is that you had to work your whole life in order to get. So I don't really have a problem with what he's saying right now.
Well, young people, as I told you, most of them, very few of them vote as it stands today. Super small numbers, and apparently 60% of them say they would rather give up their right to vote than give up TikTok. Well, I say, all right, let's take that to the next level. How about we do something that raises the voting age from 18 to 25?
I'm okay with that.
But you still get to vote at 18. Mm-hmm. If you just pass that same civics test that an immigrant has to pass in order to vote.
Maybe if they had a greater understanding of what this country was about and how important it was, and they were more informed as voters, you wouldn't have to have a get out and vote and have Diddy water waving across your, and doing a robot across your screen in order to get you to vote for somebody that's not even in your best interest. when people become more informed and they have a greater stake in it, me personally, right? I remember my first time voting. I think I was 18 years old. It was the 2000 election. And who was going into office? 2000. That was Bush versus Gore, I think. I think it was Bush versus Gore at that time. And I remember I went into the student union because I was going to UAD, the UAD Titans. I was going to UAD inside of Detroit. And I remember seeing that Bush had won, I think. Bush had won, and I remember the first time that I voted because I did a little bit of research on more about what was going on. So it's pretty interesting about how this. But I think that if you have a vested interest in something, you'd be more inclined to take it seriously, and it'll mean a lot more to you.
And tests aren't for everybody, so be it. Then you at least serve in the military or a first responder role for 6 months. That's my civic duty voting proposal. And the reason is, I'll actually make a prediction. I think youth voting in this country will skyrocket. From a very low level right now, it will skyrocket because you value something you actually have to earn.
That's reasonable.
And I think that this is not a left-wing or right-wing point. We all have duties as citizens, right? You know, we aspire to free market capitalism, right? Materialist advance. And that's the life I've lived as well, by the way. My parents came to this country with not a lot of money. I've lived the American dream. I've made a lot of money by building businesses. That's one side of what it means to be an American.
I'm going to read that shortly.
But part of it is we also have duties to this country. And I think the more we wake that up, actually, the voting age only became 18 in 1971 in the context of the Vietnam draft. So I just think reviving those ideas is going to be good for us.
So let's prove your point. Nick, our camera guy, do you know the 3 branches of
Nick is over 24, so it don't matter.
But I'm just saying, but nobody knows they're 24. Red, do you know the 3 branches?
Executive.
Well, I got a test. I would like to see if you're willing to pass.
What is MB talking about? That means that they need to become more informed if they want to vote. That's all it means. It doesn't matter whether or not they know it or not. That doesn't disprove what it is that he's saying or what he's advocating for. That just means that you need to become a more informed voter, which is one of the reasons why black people vote the way that they vote in the first place. But I want to hear what this woman has to say.
Because I believe in, just as you believe in civic engagement, I believe in changing the ideas of what political opponents look like, what they should look like, or political candidates. Are you willing to take a test with me quickly? Because I just have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
I will, absolutely. And the way this is opening up, I have a feeling I'm about to fail it, but that's good. Let's do it.
That's right, yeah. Just for clarity, I am independent. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. Cool. I think that's important for the premise of the argument, because I know you did a lot of debating at Harvard. I also want to make it clear these are the same questions that I asked liberal Democrat Marianne Williamson. So I want to make sure that we put that out there as well, just to kind of set the foundation.
I'm open to being humbled. Let's do this.
Okay, great. Let's go.
Does everybody know there are 3 branches of government? Before I continue to play this video, Paul L., I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. Does everybody know there are 3 branches of government? Just curious. Does everybody know the 3 branches of government? Let me continue to play this.
So you mentioned, the pride of being an American and how important it is to have pride in this country. I'm also a veteran, by the way, for the United States Air Force. So when is it that you voted for the first time?
I voted in 2020.
Okay, so you're how old again?
I'm 37 years old.
So for how many years?
She came in disingenuous. So she came in not necessarily looking to have a conversation. She came in order to disprove who he is and whether or not he's qualified to even be having this conversation in the first place. So let's continue.
Years you sat around and did not get involved at all in any civic engagement? Is that my understanding?
A long time is the answer. And actually, that's what I wrote this book about. I'm not holding myself out as some sort of model. I'm actually offering myself as a self-reflection of my journey as a citizen, to whom this country has given much, right? As an adult, when you have kids, it changes your perspectives. I'm very honest about that. Absolutely.
Okay, no problem.
Couldn't use shame, insults, and guilt. Couldn't throw away. We know where it's going. I can already see it. Yep, you are absolutely right, Persevere Data TV. This is about to be a shitstorm in bad faith, because she's leading into it, trying to disprove them and trying to be ugly instead of just having a conversation. And he said, listen, I wrote about it in my book. And I had that. I started getting into what it is that I'm getting into now later in life, because I have a better understanding of it.
So let's go deeper into the self-reflection. So you've sat around for, and sir, I'm being as respectful as I possibly can. Please don't take anything
and you don't
hard
even
way.
have to be. And you don't even have to be. So take it off and let's go.
So you've been sitting around in the country that my ancestors built for about 20 years. Your parents came over as immigrants, brought you over. You made millions according to your.
Is he an immigrant? Why do people automatically assume that he's an immigrant and he's been over here for 20 years? From what I understand, he was born here. From my research and me listening to him on other platforms, and maybe she need to do a little bit of research, he was born here. Why does she automatically assume that he's an immigrant and that he was brought over here? But okay, let me just listen. Let me listen for a minute.
Resume off of this country, and you have absolutely not been involved in civics. One, not voting, and two, let me just ask, because I know you mentioned earlier you don't want to sit around at the debate and talk about accomplishments. Let's make the accomplishments pretty simple. In high school, were you ever a class president or take any leadership role? Because your opponent did, Chris Christie. He was the class president. So have you ever taken any leadership at all on anything, or just?
Can I just correct a couple factual things that are kind of important? My parents didn't bring me over to the country. I was born in this country, and I'm proud of that.
No, I know you were born here in Ohio.
Yeah. Ohio. You mentioned my parents.
I'm saying your parents were immigrants. My apologies.
That's all right. You said your parents brought you over to this country.
Talk to her. Correct these. Hey, y'all need to start correcting these hoes. Don't let her just get away with it and then say, oh, my apologies. No, we going to get the facts out here. I was born in this country. Nobody brought me here. I was born. I am an American citizen. Ain't no my apologies. Ain't no my apologies. I don't even know this chick, but I'm already getting bothered by her.
Set that record straight.
I mean, they were immigrants.
This is the type of thing that causes people to start doing research on you.
Let's not go down the water hole.
No, we're not going to water. I just want to correct a couple facts, and then the other thing is
you were born here in Ohio.
I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Let him talk, ma'am.
Ohio, that's right.
Right. So you've been here your entire life. So the question is, did you take any leadership role in middle school, high school, class president?
I did.
I know you played tennis. What is it? Explain it to us.
Student council. But I think that this is yes, I have held leadership roles over my life, but
what does having a high school don't they realize how much money this guy has made? How many people that this guy has helped? If you understand what leadership is, it has nothing to do with whether or not you held a position. Hey, in elementary school, I was voted as treasurer, y'all. I didn't know what it fucking meant. It didn't really mean anything. But in sixth grade, I was voted as treasurer at Hampton Elementary School. That is a fact. Now, does that qualify me to be a leader? What does that mean? What does it mean to be... Leadership has nothing to do with the position that you was voted in middle school and high school. That means nothing. What is wrong with these women? What is wrong with these women? And they just sitting there letting her embarrass herself.
Those don't qualify me to do what I'm doing now.
No, it kind of does. Okay, it kind of does. Well, I'm giving the test. I'm the test administrator.
All right, there you go.
So it kind of does, because when you go from saying I want to go to the highest office,
and I'll tell you, I've led companies as well. Is the other leader?
Right,
the main leadership role I played is and I want to talk about one early part of your premise that I also want to say, to bring it to the country point. The other point, you use the word sitting around. I'm not somebody who's saying I want the next generation, my kids' generation, to have more civic duties when they graduate from high school and college than I did when I did. That being said, I wasn't sitting around. I've developed medicines, 5 of which are FDA-approved products today, one of which is a life-saving therapy in kids, 20 of whom die by the age of 3 if they're not treated, 70% of whom now live lives of a normal duration.
What he said, listen, you talking with your hair that's not even yours on your head, and I was out here fucking developing medicines that's FDA approved that's saving lives. Yo, that's the hardest stunt that I done ever seen happen on this platform ever. He said, what you thought, we was just chilling? You thought I got rich because I was sitting here with my hair, because I was selling bundles on the internet? What you thought, I was selling drugs? You thought I was selling weed on the internet? This nigga is talking to him. Yo, people got to do their research before these people come in and start debating. They got to start doing their research on these people before they start. This man cooking.
One for prostate cancer. So I don't apologize for making contributions. But
hold on, let me rewind this.
20 of whom die by the age of somebody who's saying, I want the next generation, my kids' generation, to have more civic duties when they graduate from high school and college than I did when I did. That being said, I wasn't sitting around. I've developed medicines, 5 of which are FDA-approved products today, one of which is a life-saving therapy in kids, 20 of whom die by the age of 3 if they're not treated, 70% of whom now live lives of a normal duration. Another one for prostate cancer. So I don't apologize for making contributions. But
right, well, I don't want you to filibuster that because that's not the question that I asked. And
no, that is.
As a veteran,
you asked about leadership. You asked about leadership. And so now he's breaking down. This is not a filibuster. This is him breaking down what real leadership looks like. He's re-educating you. He's helping you to unlearn the bullshit that you tried to lead with in this high school class president, city council. And he's re-educating you on what leadership looks like. It's taking a firm stance first as a man, correcting you, and then also breaking down his accomplishments to show you why he's qualified for this position. I like this guy already. Yo, I'm going to put him right at the top of the... I like this guy already. I might donate to his campaign.
Talking about service. I'm not talking about what you did for profit.
That is service. That is service. Just because you're well compensated for it does not mean that you're not a servant.
I'm talking about what you paid people to do with your company.
So I've not served the country
because that means nothing to me. What I'm talking,
what I am able to ask a question. She's been trying to ask a question, and you've been talking over.
I'm all ears.
No, you're not. She didn't let him fully answer. DJ Envy, I absolutely, DJ Envy, you let this man cook. He need to have this debate on Fight Club.
He gave you the platform to let you say.
I'm all ears. I'm all ears. No, I was just correcting a couple facts.
She hasn't had a chance to ask
That's
a
all.
question yet. Every time she tried to ask a question, you've been cutting her off.
I'm all ears.
Right. So your question. So my question again is: you're trying to your goal is to raise the standard, and you're saying you want people to believe in country, and you want people to have civic engagement. And sir, I just find it very telling that you haven't had any civic engagement at all, and haven't been at all. And when I say sit around, I don't mean you haven't done anything. I'm talking about in regards to service. Because one thing about political office, the same way that you want to change how people look at politics and look at this country, I want to change how people look at politicians. And when I see that someone hasn't did anything at all to be of service to mankind, to take a leadership role. It's not good enough to just be on city student council. Were you a leader? All of that applies. Have you been able to get anybody in the room at any time, from a high school gymnasium to Ohio, Republican leadership there to now? Have you been able to get anybody in a room to believe in this vision? I don't agree with a lot of your vision statement, but I do know you've been going around having these discussions and getting everybody emotionally worked up to talk about vision and debate. But I want to get to the practical. You're trying to go from preschool to president of the United States. You're skipping over city.
And she thinks she cooking. This is the funniest part about this whole conversation. Watching this, I wonder if people rewatch what it is that they say and what they do. And they think to themselves, man, I was looking like a whole fool. Not a half a fool, but a whole fool. She thinks she cooking. She thinks she got fish grease out here in these streets. She thinks she fish grease hot in here. I am. I'm going to try my hardest. I'm gonna try. Hey, Rita, if you're watching this right now, I know you may be watching it on a plane or who knows or whatever. We got to get this guy for an interview, even if it's just for 15 minutes. I got to get this guy on a platform. If there's nobody else that I want to get on this platform, is him.
Council,
and he's going to be on the Millionaire Morning Show, not the Anton Daniels channel. This guy will be on the Millionaire Morning Show.
Governor, you want to go straight to the top. So my question is this a PR? Is this for the PR, the perception of reality? Or can you point to any leadership where you've been able to get people to believe in what you're talking about that they're not paid to do on any of these vision statements that you have? If not, then to me, it's a moot point, because you're holding a standard that you haven't met yourself.
Is this a question or is this a debate?
So if you're only going to count government service, you're absolutely
No, not government
right.
service. Okay. Student council in the 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th, where you a lead.
Oh, man. Yo, black women. Black women. Black women. It's y'all turn. It's y'all. No, this is your sister in Christ. This is y'all sister in Christ right here. Black women. It's y'all turn. Y'all looking dumb as fuck out here. I'm going to just be right. Listen, y'all don't have nothing to say when I hold men to the fire and hold them accountable. Y'all looking dumb, dumb. Y'all looking like whole fools, not a half a fool, but a whole fool. Black women. Y'all been taking L's for a long time now. At some point, we either need an educated black woman in the room or we just going to have y'all come to the front of the congregation the way I be bringing Chicago to the front of the congregation. Please don't make me do it again. This is bad. This is bad.
Leader, did you do anything to rally anybody? Did you fight for better lunch? I did in the 6th grade with Miss Harris. I'm not talking about government. I can go all the way back from the 5th grade every year, sir, because people who are in service to this country, if you're going to go around saying you want people to believe in this country that I signed up to die for, then I want to make sure that you're holding that same standard. So not government, not political. Let's not get it confused. I'm saying, have you did anything of service that we can point to say he is a good leader, like Chris? And I'm not even a fan of Chris Christie, but he was the student council president in high school. So have you done any?
The student council president in high school. The student council president in high school. And I guarantee you, she thinks she cooking. Thank you for the super chats. I'm going to be reading those short. I guarantee you, she thinks she on fire right now.
Anything of service besides yourself that has not benefited yourself? It's just a simple question.
So the acts of service that I have performed are small, so small that I don't even want to talk about them to boast. But yes, have I volunteered for this country? Yes, I have. I've always been interested in healthcare.
It's okay to talk about the small things.
I mean, these are small things, right? But thank you.
Let's just mention
Bethesda North Hospital.
So it's really a no?
No, it's not a no. It's just something I don't like boasting about. I
well, we're not boasting. It's an interview. You're boasting on your vision and everything else.
I think
you boasted on the
Why they not stopping this hoe from over talking so that this man can actually finish a thought? You seen DJ Envy will step in on her behalf, but he will not step in on his behalf. This is becoming aggravating.
The dollars that you made. So let's just throw it out. So in 6th grade, I'll give you an example. I'll help you out. In 6th grade, Miss Harris, was let me give you an example because maybe you're confused. In the 6th grade, Miss Harris was snatching papers from everybody in the classroom. So me as a 10-year-old, I went to the principal and said, I'm tired of Miss Harris snatching papers. And I organized the students around getting Miss Harris to stop snatching papers. Now, there was a consequence for that. I got suspended for 5 days for talking back, and I got in trouble, got a spanking, and I was on punishment for months and months. But that is a simple way of organizing people. So I want you to kind of boast about it the way you did the millions of dollars and said what you did with the pharmaceutical companies. What leadership can you point to that you've been able to rally anybody around anything that is of service that you did not pay anybody to do? I think that's important for the next president of the United States.
Sure. So I've always been drawn to healthcare. That's why I ended up founding companies in that space. When I was in high school, part of what drew me into it was that I was a volunteer at a local hospital. I actually became the leader of that group of volunteers that actually discharged women who had recently given birth. That was it. Nothing big to it.
Did you do anything we can point to stand out?
But I want to say something about that because I say that in the book. If I'm being really honest, why did I do that in high school? A part of the motivation, I'll be just brutally honest with you, was part of the motivation was that's actually what allows you to get into a good college when you graduate.
Right, so it was about you.
So there was that.
Honestly, this is beyond him cooking her. Y'all look bad out here. This is way beyond. Listen, you ain't got to worry about me. I don't want another woman that's hitting me up on Instagram. I don't want another woman to hit me up on Instagram or sending me an email saying, Anton, why you so hard on women? Y'all hard on yourselves. Y'all out here looking dumb as fuck. Is this who y'all supporting? You ain't even got to worry about me. She over here making y'all look dumb as hell. Now, I know what the Dr. Umar Johnson is going to say. He's going to say it's black men's fault. It's black men's fault that this woman is on here spewing this nonsense and rhetoric. He may even back it up and say that she was right as a result of it. I mean, God damn it. He didn't hold Suki Hana accountable, but he sure did hold black men accountable for everything that Suki Hana wound up finding herself into and what she said, Suki with the good coochie. Y'all look bad. We're going to do a little bit of deep diving to find out exactly who this woman is tomorrow. Oh, yeah. You coming to the front of the congregation, Tez Figueroa.
So there's that, and I'm admitting that in a way that very few other people do, but I got to be honest about it. That was a big part of why I did it.
Yeah, it was about self, and I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to give it back to the guys. I'm going to be honest about it with you.
Yep.
Leadership is not about self.
I agree with you on that.
What I just heard is that everything is about you, and to be honest with you, this is just a PR campaign, sir, to be honest with you, and I think you're trying to go further to the right because you want the Republicans to accept you as a man of color, and I think the only way you think you can do that is to be so extreme.
I appreciate your opinion.
With your positions, and I think you need to do a little bit more work in service. I'll give it back to the guys. Let me test,
because she did ask me a question, and then you guys said you wanted to hear a response, but I think I heard an expression of opinion. So just I want to make sure you're all done before I respond to it.
No, just wanted to say that even then, I would still want you to point out, even at the hospital, something that you did that made you stand out on when actually taking a leadership role. But you already answered it. You said you did it because it was a motivation to get in college.
Exactly.
Which means
and
it was
I'm being
about
very
you.
honest about that. But
everything has been about you. So as a veteran,
let me tell you something. I appreciate
it's very hard for me to follow leaders that make everything about them. So you might want to work on that because it's a lot of veterans and Republicans. So you might want to work on that.
Shut the fuck up. That's what I would have told her. Who you think you talking to? I'm Vivek. I save fucking lives. I'm Vivek out here in these streets. You know, I always say I'm Anton motherfucking Daniels. Who you talking to? See, he got to do this in order to be able to posture so that he can get the vote and all of this other type of stuff. So he can't really go in the way he want to. But God, he needs somebody like me on his side. Like, hey, man, tell that bitch to shut the fuck up, bro. Hey, man. Hey, bro, what's happening over there, bro? He needs somebody like a black man on his side. Like, hey, bro. No. We not doing that over there. We not doing that today. Hey. Lower your voice, strengthen your argument. All right, baby girl. Don't call me baby. All right. Listen, this bitch is out of control. Then you're going to have DJ MB and Charlamagne. Oh, no, my God. Man, somebody need to just tell them for real and just say, hey, yo, you talking too motherfucking much. You got your neck twisted. You snatching dreams out the air. You got your fake hair right there, the bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair. That ain't even your hair. How you gonna tell me about what it is that I do and what I stand for? You don't know nothing about me. I've hired more people that look like you. This is hyena.
On that talking point, and maybe do some volunteering while you're on the campaign trail. I'm going to give it back to Charlamagne and Envy.
Yeah, once I want to be respectful. Want to make sure you got everything you wanted to on the table before I respond.
If this was just us, it'd be a lot more.
You guys tell me. I'm the guest on your show. You tell me when I'm good to speak.
Go ahead.
You sure? Mm-hmm. You sure about that? If we're good.
Yeah, we're sure.
So I think there's a different worldview that we have, and I think the worldview is how one actually makes contributions in a country. I do not believe that there's a separate category of just if you're serving the country and then if you're acting in self-interest, that's somehow sinful or wrong. I reject that vision. To the contrary, I think capitalism is the best system known to man to lift people up from poverty. I deeply respect and I thank you for your service to this country. I'm grateful for it. I haven't served the country in the way that you have. But I think that the way you get ahead in capitalism, how did I develop a multi-billion-dollar biotech company? It was by developing medicines that save people's lives.
A lot of people say capitalism causes poverty.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Okay.
I disagree with that. I think that capitalism demands that you provide something to someone
of value
that helps them more.
Yep.
Then you're actually charging them for it.
Yep.
That's the only way.
That's
the
a
tried
business
and true
model,
way
sir. That's
it
not
is a business
service.
model. I'm not
That's
saying
not
it's
service.
I'm saying it's having an impact on society.
Hey, somebody get their hyena in here. I thought y'all said that y'all was going to let me speak. Somebody get their hyena in here. I thought y'all was going to let me speak. Jesus.
Is service. That's the disconnect.
That's right. So
that you're missing that they didn't
now
teach
I'm moving on to there are phases of our lives where we do different things.
Well, you're moving straight all the way up to President of the United States.
You know, I don't view it as a hierarchy. I don't view it as a hierarchy. I don't believe in hierarchies. The hierarchy is the way the bureaucracy works. I don't believe in so we have a difference in opinion.
You also don't believe in service, and that's where we're having a disconnect.
Well, I disagree with you on that.
You know,
I just disagree with you on that.
I think it's whack that you're proposing to revoke voting rights for 18 to 24-year-olds unless they meet certain
qualifications. Can this man finish his statement?
Your rights.
Well, so most young people don't, is the whole point. Well, so, Charlamagne, let me ask you a question. Do you think the
largest voter turnouts have been over the last couple of elections?
They still voted at a very low rate, but let me ask you a question. What do you think about high school students being required to pass the civics test? What's your perspective on that?
The one that you proposed?
The one that every immigrant has to pass in order to enter the country. If every high school student has to pass that before they graduate, what's your take on that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Okay, good. Now let me tell you something about the law as it exists today. Men in this country, not women, but men are required by law to register with the Selective Service, age 18 to 25. That's the draft. We don't have a draft, but men have to register. If you don't, they put you in prison. At least they can. It's a criminal offense if you don't. My view is I would decriminalize that. I don't like the government telling you what you can and cannot do. That's not the American way. But if you want to enjoy the civic privilege of voting, then I think it is perfectly legitimate to say you have to at least know something about the country or have served that country, one or the other. Absolutely.
This man is cooking.
Now, I think that what
He's the first person that I don't want to stop in the middle of because I want to hear his full thought.
actually care about, right? What do we? I mean, we can do the personal attack
voting
thing.
is-
We
voting
care
is
about the
not
country.
personal attack,
We
sir.
care about
Voting
the
is the
country.
cornerstone of democracy, though.
Voting is the cornerstone of
you didn't
democracy.
exercise.
I have
No,
not.
sir,
Yeah,
excuse
that's
me.
right. And you know, here's the thing. Here's the thing that's different
Respectfully,
is,
sir,
yep.
sir, excuse me, because this is important. We have to pause it. This is not a personal attack.
That's okay.
This is you, and I know that as a Republican, you are certainly not soft. So this is not a personal attack.
Yeah,
this
I'm
is
okay with
asking
attacks,
about
too.
this is about asking about your background and how it correlates, how it's relevant to saying you're going to serve this country because president is actually.
So I have been an
serving
open book in the last
No,
3 years.
Yeah, I know, and I'm
Absolutely.
going page by page.
And
but
I'm
it's not
saying
an
that I
attack.
have not-
I'm gonna let you finish,
Yep.
but I want to be clear. It's not an attack.
Okay.
Because you've been an open book, but that doesn't mean I have to like what's on the page.
That's fair
But
enough.
it's not an attack. I'm just reading the book.
Yep.
And so when I hear somebody say you need to get to
Hey, somebody get this woman. I want to try to reach out to her and see if she's interested in being on the platform also.
either pass this test or do some type of service to the country, and I spend hours looking. You were in the Phi Beta Kappa. Did you have a leadership role in college, the honor roll? When somebody sets service as the standard and they've done no service except to themselves, that's a fair question. It's a question, and you just
So I've been on. I mean, look, I was on high school student council. Yes, absolutely.
Were you a leader? Were you a leader?
I was a vice president of my high school student council. Absolutely. I was the president of the
Okay,
National
great.
Honor Society. I can go down the list. It's just that
That's
these are
what I
not-
was asking you to do. Go down the
Absolutely.
list. But
So I was a president of the National Honor Society. I was the vice president of my student council. I was a lead amongst the volunteers at the hospital where I served growing up. I was actually a leader in volunteer research over the summers. From my senior year.
all of that, but you already admitted all of that was to get into college.
Not
But
all
go
of it,
ahead.
but I am admitting it. I think that
I know
it's
that's
important.
self-service, though. I just do
A
you
lot of
understand the
that-
difference between
a lot of-
self-service
and
and
I
service?
think the reality is, and I think we just all have to be more honest. When
We
many
do.
high school students are serving today, not all of them, but I think let's smoke it out. I don't like that structure where we actually
No,
mix
and I don't like the
service with
structure.
self-interest.
And
This is, yo, I don't let women talk like this to me in real life. I don't let women talk to me like this in real life. I mean, this shit is cool on the internet and all of this other type of stuff, but I can't. God, that junk irks my soul. It bothers me to my core that women feel comfortable enough to sit there and go back and forth with a I don't care how much he cooking. In my core. If my daughter started talking too much to her mother, I just look at her like, who you talking to?
I don't like the structure of somebody saying somebody need to give service as a veteran. I don't like the structure of somebody
And I don't like your fake hair. So now we all in the same boat.
going
fair,
to the
we can
highest
disagree.
office of the land and have not served anybody at any time unless it was self-serving. So this is where we just have two different ideologies. And I know your
and here's
goal
my
was to come here
perspective.
and get into.
Here's
Yeah,
my
I know. That's
perspective.
why we
Let
got
me-
different
let me-
The
perspectives.
two guys, you got to leave in 5 minutes. I know.
Hold on,
I'll let them wrap up.
Let me just say one thing is here's my vision of the run for presidency. And this is why I say I'm an open book is my job is to make sure people in this country know who I am and what I stand for. And I think that very few politicians on either party actually get that job done. So what I say is I'm an open book about who I am and what I stand for. Whether the people of this country want to vote for me, that's their question, not mine. That's their job to determine, not mine. And you're free not to vote for me. I expect you won't, and that's okay. But I'm doing my job in the 3 books I've written over the last year, in the conversation I'm having with you guys, being far more honest than any politician that I know in the last 10 years in this country. And I think when I say we want to fix corruption, you don't know what the first step is? The first step is actually people being honest.
Right.
So you guys know me. You know what I stand for. I haven't hit back on that.
Do you
When the
wanna
people in
unite
this
the
country
country?
want to vote for it, that's their choice.
Do you want to unite the country?
I do want to unite the country.
So why is like one of your marquee campaign proposals making sure black people can no longer benefit from affirmative action?
See, here's the thing. It's actually been a disastrous experiment over the last 60 years.
Talk to him. Talk to him. It has been disastrous. He has, God, this guy might have just won my vote just off of this interview alone.
Seen the impact that it's had. Unlike a lot of other executives, I've had senior executives in my company who happen to be black, senior executives in my campaign who happen to be black. I actually went to a majority or close to majority black school 1st through 8th grade. There isn't a single one of those black kids or black colleagues that could not have achieved everything I have in my life. I firmly believe that to be true. And I have seen the unfair discrimination behind closed doors, the thing that people will say behind closed doors, about somebody who would have had that position anyway, but was unfairly tarred with the taint of saying they got it because of a race-based quota system. I think that's unjust to everyone across the board. And I think that the right way to do this is actually ensure equality of opportunity, educational access at an early age, which, by the way, we don't have in this country, starting at an actual young age. How about doing that in a way that's agnostic to race? That way we prevent seeing one another on the basis of a color of our skin, but we actually solve the real inequalities that we have when it starts with inequality of opportunity, starting with education. So my view is, I think my approach is actually going to be more successful in lifting up more Black Americans than have been the Lyndon Johnson approach of actually using race-based quota systems.
So the Supreme Court does rule on affirmative action, and they do ban it. Who do you feel it benefits versus who it hurts?
I think that it helps everyone if they end race-based affirmative action.
Seriously?